Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a quick fire edit in wildlife photography. I'm going to turn this beautiful female leopard photo that I took in the Kruger National Park into something quite unique. So let's jump right into it. What we're going to do first, as always, is we're going to look at the composition. So obviously the composition in shot is not the best. Actually what I want to try and do is just put this female a little bit to the left so she almost looks into the photo. But what I do find is that the top bottom, it's too rectangular. So what I'm going to do, into the crop tool, you go into your aspect ratio and you can turn it into I'm going to turn it into a 1280 to 800 and it just makes it slightly narrower, and already you can see that looks very, very cool. Now, the original photo that I did of this was actually a black and white photo, but I'm actually going to turn it into like a kind of a weird sepia tone. Because of the beautiful orange morning light that's on this photo. You can do a lot with this photo actually, but I'm going to create like a bit of a sepia tone one. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go to my details tabs and I'm just going to create that kind of mask so that I focus everything that I do on my subject. Then I am actually, usually I'll bring the highlights down, but because it's going to be a sepia tone one, I'm actually going to bring the highlights up quite a bit. And then I'm just going to clip my whites. You press option and press option, check where your blacks lands. Just make sure you clip it a little bit. So you can already see that highlights might be a little bit too much. Bring it down a bit. What I'm going to do now is I want to I don't, like you all know, I don't really like the contrast slider. I'm just going to underexpose a little bit. Let's just have a look. You can see that is already like a super cool photo, right? What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into my masking tab. I'm going to create a radial gradient and I'm going to create a slightly elongated one and I'm going to invert it and I'm going to bring the exposure down. So what's nice about this is because your background has got like these blotches of black in it, you're going to keep quite a lot of like blurred detail in the background, so you create a very beautiful bokeh effect. And by bringing down the exposure, you just enhance that a little bit. So I kind of like that effect that I've got here. What I'm going to do then is create another radial gradient, just put it straight over the face. I'm going to go down to my effects and just put my texture up a little bit, put my clarity up to about 10, and then in my detail go my sharpness to about 20 or so. So now I've really focused on the face and the detail there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to just zoom in. Look how beautiful that is. I mean, that is just incredible. Okay, go into your brush tool. We're going to work the eyes a little bit. Remember, with wildlife photography, a lot of the story is told in the eyes, so it's good to enhance the eyes, but remember, you don't want to make it look unnatural. So yes, enhance the eyes, but please don't overdo it. It looks weird if you've got this animal with this bright yellow eyes. I know some people like it because it's, you know, artistic, and ultimately photography is that, but just be careful. Okay, I'm going to enhance the catch light as well. See, there's nice catch light in this right eye. And actually this female, if you know her or knew her, she had an injury to her eye. So she's got a little bit of a kind of blotch to the eye in the left eye. So that's why it looks so funny. So that's why I'm not worried about it. I'm actually enhancing that a little bit because it is natural. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look back. That looks cool. Let's just have a look at the eyes. Catch light is nice. Catch light maybe a little bit too much there. I'll maybe make it a little bit less. So just go into... so you have to make sure you don't do too much. Yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, so now we've created this. Now this photo on its own is super cool, but what I'm going to try and do is create a bit of a sepia tone. So I'm going to go down to the saturation slider and I'm going to bring it down, and you see how that is now creating a super cool sepia tone effect. I'm going to just bring the vibrance down a little bit, and then I'm just going to create another radial, a linear gradient from the right to the left. Hold my shift key to keep it nice and straight. Bring it in, bring my exposure down a little bit. I'm going to do another linear gradient from the left to the right. We don't have a lot of space there because you don't want to put too much over your subject. and bring it in there. And then I'm going to do another linear gradient a little bit from the top and bring that down slightly. And then what I want to do, because the image is now a little bit darker, I'm just going to see if I can enhance the whites a little bit across this leopard, especially around the chin and the whiskers and those reflective lines that they have below the eyes, and definitely around the ears there. You don't want to have it too overexposed. And there you go. That is, I think, a super cool kind of sepia tone photo. Composition is much better. It's a very unique take on an already good photo in camera, and this is the end result from that to that. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I see you out in the field.